Hi everyone, it's Tasman here from Tasman's Crochet Creations. Welcome back to my channel. For this video, I decided that I was going to speak about my crochet journey and how I got to where I am today with my small business. And so I'm actually, like as we speak, I was actually busy with my college assignments for my first assignment that we got this year so far. So we are making corsetry, which I'm so super excited about. So we're busy making a corset. Well, not yet, but we're busy designing our corset. So yeah, we have applied design and applied tech. And in applied design, we are busy designing our garments. And then in applied tech, we will actually sew, the corset. So in applied design, we're not just designing the corset, but we're actually designing an outfit with it. Either a corset within a dress, a corset with pants, or a corset with a skirt, or something like that. So yeah, just while I'm busy with it, I might as well just show you what I've been up to. So I started out just experimenting. I have more stuff on my laptop. Like more work on my laptop with regards to like research and my mood board and things like that. But yeah, the theme that I sort of want to go for with regards to my fashion, or the corsetry, is basically like I have this design in mind that I want to do like leafy floral fabric for like the main part of the corsets, and then when I do my boning channels, I'm gonna have it yellow. So yeah, you'll sort of see a sketch, sort of like a rough idea on like what I'm going for now. But yeah, so I just wanted to just share with you what I've been up to for the past week. So yeah, I just went back to college this week on Monday. So yeah, I just started off with like basic sketches of like corsetry and dresses and stuff. And then I actually skipped 2 pages. I just noticed that now. Anyway, and then this is just like my brainstorming ideas, just like busy sketching up. So those were like my initial sort of ideas I was planning for, or looks I should say, that I was going for. And then these are just types of corsets, and then this was just the sort of 2 designs that I was going for in terms of like the sort of style of corset. So yeah, and then it's a little bit in a mess. But yeah, today I just try to play around with some watercolor and to like do some prints and stuff like that, like so-called prints for my corset. And then this is what my sketches look like so far. So this is what I was talking about with like the leafy green print with the yellow channels. But yeah, I've just been working on some variants. So yeah, this is still part of like my design concept exploration. I still have design development, design illustration, technical drawings, and my final mood board. But yeah, so that is what I have been busy with in terms of college. Now to get on to how I actually started crocheting. So excuse me, if some of you guys may know, I've actually been crocheting for quite a long time. So I've been crocheting now for like 14 years, which is like really exciting to me. Yeah, so basically the way that I started crocheting was, so I'm epileptic, but I have been seizure free for, I want to say maybe 5 or 4 years now that I've been seizure free for. Actually, no, I think it's 5 years. I think it's 5 years that I've been seizure free for. I was epileptic from the time I was 4 years old, I believe. And yeah, my epilepsy wasn't all that bad. I didn't have like drastic seizures or anything like that. The medication that my doctor had put me on was quite strong. So yeah, I didn't really have bad seizures at all. I really just felt nauseous or lightheaded or had a headache whenever a seizure would come on. and then I would just literally just go and sleep it off, and when I wake up I would be fine. And then yeah, basically, long story short, I basically had my first seizure when my parents were weaning me off my medication. But yeah, thankfully I have been seizure free since then. Anyway, so with regards to my epilepsy, I went to a special needs school because with my epilepsy I suffered greatly with speech and memory problems. So I couldn't recall things, I would forget things basically, and my speech was a little bit, also when growing up my speech was just a little bit like not so good because I had problems with pronunciation and things like that. So yeah, then the OT department opened their arms and said, okay, we're going to teach kids how to crochet for whoever wants to crochet. So me and my so-called friends, they were actually bullies that I was friends with. This is a true, genuine side of the story here now. So basically, I didn't really have much friends in school. I was a very quiet, introverted kind of person, always shy to talk to people. So in grade 5 to grade 6, I believe, I was a grade 4. There were these 3 girls in my class that we were always in the same group of people throughout like the whole grade or throughout the whole year. No, sorry, not the whole year. Throughout my whole primary school, a lot of the time I was with the same people throughout each class or each year, if that makes any sense. So basically, they were like very mean to me. Used to like call me names and used to like take my food and things like that. And anyway, long story short, I don't really want to go on too much about that. But yeah, long story short, the OT department said that they were going to teach kids how to crochet. And yeah, so me and my so-called friends went down to the OT department and we tried to crochet. They taught us the basic chain stitch, and it was actually kind of funny because my mom had a crochet hook in her sewing box. And like I've seen it before there like a handful of times for whatever reason. Obviously when looking for like buttons or thread or something in her sewing box, I saw a little crochet hook there. So when I actually started going to these classes and when they gave us like crochet hooks to use, I immediately knew what that tool was that was in my mom's sewing box. So I think the first or second day after going there, for the first couple lessons, I literally grabbed my mom's crochet hook and used it. I used it there. And to be honest, I actually still have that crochet hook. Yeah, I still have it as part of my crochet collection. And yeah, so that crochet hook holds a special place in my heart because that was the hook that I started crocheting with. But yeah, it took me quite a long time to actually grasp the chain. It took me so long to grasp it. I don't know why, but it took me forever, probably like a couple weeks to get it right. And bear in mind, my 3 other friends, they literally went ahead. They were onto their first scarf or onto their first item that they were crocheting. They were obviously learning the next couple stitches, like the double crochet or the single crochet, the chain. Yeah. Anyway, but I still couldn't chain. I still couldn't chain for weeks on end. I couldn't chain, and I was getting so flustered and so irritated with myself. And then eventually one day, we're walking down the passage to the OT department, and it just said, I have a really good feeling that I'm going to get it today. And I really had like a genuinely good feeling. Like I had hope. I just had this good feeling inside my heart that I was going to get it. I was going to achieve this chain or achieve crocheting. And the leader of the pack said to me, you know what, I should just give up because I'm never going to get it. And I was just like, yeah, right. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Obviously I didn't say that to her. I was thinking that in my head. And yeah, so off we went to the OT department, and for the first 1 or 2 times that I tried to chain, I couldn't get it right. It was still like slipping off my hook, or the way I was holding it wasn't right, or I don't know what the story was. Then eventually, on probably like between the 3rd and the 5th time of trying to do it, I finally got it right. I just remember jumping up in excitement and saying, I did it, and I was so happy with myself. I was so incredibly happy. I still remember how happy I was in that period and in that time frame. And even though I just chained one chain, it meant the world to me. But yeah, as soon as my circle friends had seen that I had chained my first chain, they immediately dropped crochet and went straight to knitting. And they picked up knitting needles and they tried to knit. And then the OT department taught them how to knit. So they knew how to crochet and how to knit. But I was like, oh, you know what? Whatever. You can go off, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm going to crochet. And I was so happy with myself. And I remember I crocheted like such a long chain, because that was the only thing I knew how to do was a long chain. Anyway, so I don't know how long this chain was, but it was like probably like over 200 chains. Enough to make a blanket, funny enough. Anyway, and then I went to my gran, my mom's mother, and I went there and she taught me the next stitch up, which is the double crochet that she taught me. And I was a little bit upset because she pulled out all of my chains that I did, and it was kind of funny because my brother was like, she's gonna make you pull it all out. I'm like, no, she won't. Like, I've already done all of these chains. Like, well, would she make me undo it just to redo it again, you know? She's like, no, like, she'll make you pull it out. I'm like, I don't think so. And then she literally made me pull. Well, she actually didn't make me pull it out. She pulled all of my chains out herself. Just pulled it out. I was not happy at all. But anyway, I was quite bummed that I had to redo my chain all over again. So then I started with the length of chains, and then eventually once I'd completed the length of chains, she showed me how to do the double crochet stitch. And I did a handful of those stitches, and then I just carried on. And then I managed to get like scrap yarn. I don't even know where I got this yarn from. I can't remember if I bought it from the yarn store or if I was given yarn scraps. I don't know. I think maybe I bought the yarn, but I really genuinely can't remember. And I made my first blanket. And I actually donated it because it was very bad. Yeah, it was very, very bad. Obviously I was a beginner, so of course it would look bad. But basically what had happened, and also my tension wasn't right. So my stitches were quite loose. They were big. I was using a 4mm and DK weight yarn, but because my tension was so loose, it was just very holy, really. Anyway, so I started out with like, I don't even know how many chains, like maybe 100 to 150 chains. Like, it wasn't that big. And I was not taught to work into the turning chain. So basically my work started to taper. It went from a nice like a start to like that much by the end of the blanket. Literally that much. So it was such a good laugh, though. I must admit. It was funny that I made a blanket like that. But yeah, I probably used it a handful of times, because with my first blanket, I was sort of proud of it, you know, for even as wonky as it was, I was quite chuffed with it, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so yeah, and then from there, I just took off. I came here onto YouTube. I watched HappyBerry Crochet. She was my first crochet instructor, if I can put it that way, or crochet teacher, lecturer, whatever you want to say. She taught me basically everything that I know now today. I've crocheted so many of her things. I can't even like list all all the number of things that I've made of hers. I've made like baby booties, I've made hats, I've made blankets. I should actually show you this blanket that I made. I still have it. It's a baby blanket. I'll actually get it out now and show you. Okay, so this is the blanket that I made. This was the, I can't remember what the name of this blanket was called, but I absolutely loved the way it came out. I think this is called like the loop stitch blanket or something. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, so this was like one of my favorite blankets that I've made. Actually, no, a lie. I wouldn't say this is my favorite blankets that I've made. But yeah, actually this is this is also a bit wonky. Like the purple side is a little bit longer than the red side. I started off with the red one, and then as time went on, my tension loosened, and yeah, so yeah, the purple side is a bit longer. So if I had to fold this in half, you can sort of see how, yeah, you can see it. So yeah, I really love this blanket, and I'm keeping it for when I have a baby, and yeah, I'm so excited about that. So yeah, I'm really excited to keep this blanket for my baby, and yeah, so I've crocheted so many things from HappyBerry, from Laura. Yeah, she's taught me so much, and I feel honored that I was able to learn from her. Yeah, I've like made like so many of her videos. I even made I don't have it here in my room, but I even made a little, what's it called, like the little pumpkin bunting. I made little baby booties. I used like the broomstick lace stitch to make it. Wasn't like a blanket, it was something else. I don't even remember what it was. Yeah, I've made bags and stuff like that from her channel. I don't have everything here. Like I've said, I've given like a lot of my crochet stuff away, except for like the recent stuff that I've made. But yeah, so yeah, HappyBerry was the first place that I learned really how to crochet and everything that I know now. And yeah, and then from there I just found other YouTubers, like I can't remember what her name, but her old YouTube channel was Bob Wilson 123. I can't really remember what her YouTube channel's name is now. I know she did change it to something more personal. Yeah, I've also subscribed to TL Yarn Crafts. I've been subscribed to her for a while now. And speaking about TL Yarn Crafts, I am advertising her yarn as well from Hobie. So if you click the link in the description box below, you can purchase her yarns off of the Hobie website. And yeah, it will help me because I will get commission. And yeah, you can also support me and support Tony, the best like creator out there. Honestly, she's such an inspiration. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, what was I saying now? I've lost my train of thought. Got so excited. But yeah, so that's basically how I started crocheting. And then as regards to the rest of my crochet journey, I've literally just taken off from there. Like I've said, I've crocheted a whole bunch of different things. I've crocheted blankets, I've crocheted amigurumi, I've crocheted baby stuff, I've crocheted keychains, I've crocheted like decor stuff, like placemats and things like that. I've crocheted blankets. There's a lot that I've crocheted over the years. But yeah, there's a lot that I've crocheted over the years, and yeah, and when I first started crocheting, I had so much support from my father, and yeah, my father he had so many connections everywhere. My dad always got along with everyone, and at that time I had like so many orders. When I first started crocheting, I had so many orders. I was like bombarded by like so many orders from everyone. Even though it was funny because because at that time I was still a beginner, so so the quality of my work wasn't that great, but it was okay, you know, it was decent. Yeah, so I had so many people placing orders with me, and I'm so sad about this because it eventually got too much for me that I eventually said, nope, I'm not taking any more orders. I don't ever have time to work on stuff for myself. I'm always working on other people's orders, and, you know, sometimes I would like to work on my own stuff. And I literally called off all orders. I think I completed all of the orders that I had already received. But any new orders, I was like, nope, sorry, I can't do it, you know, whatever. And I turned down so many orders. And then, yeah, then I just went on crocheting my own thing. Like I said, I followed HappyBerry. I crocheted a lot of purses, a lot of bags, a lot of toys, amigurumis, blankets, you know, the whole lot, really. And then, yeah, then fast forward to about 3 years ago. I think it's about 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago now. In 2021, end of 2021 was when I started my YouTube channel. Yay! So in 2021 was the first time I made my YouTube channel. And yeah, I posted my first video on how to crochet. I believe it was how to crochet a Tunisian crochet hook case, which I still have. It's in my craft room at the moment. And yeah, at that time, I'm sure you can tell that I was really watching TL Yarn Crafts and Tony, because she loves Tunisian crochet as well. So yeah, I was doing Tunisian crochet, I was making scarves and things like that, and yeah, so yeah, I started my YouTube channel like 3 years ago. I started my YouTube channel, and yeah, again, I cannot believe that I got 3,000 subscribers now. Like, it's amazing, it's wild. Again, thank you guys so much for 3,000 subscribers. But yeah, so since I started YouTube here, at first I was like making tutorials from books and stuff like that. And then over time I started designing my own patterns and things like that from pictures on the internet, from like reference images, and I'd literally just start designing. And I started making keychains, because yeah, they were like very quick to make, and it's an easy, quick gift to go to buy and give to someone. So I started making keychains, and yeah, that was my niche. At first, that was my niche. And I started making a whole bunch of keychains. In 2022, I started making my keychains. I started making 5 of each keychain. I made bees, worry pets, evil eyes, strawberries, avocados, sunflowers. Can't remember all of them. Ghosts, frogs. Anyway, so I made a handful of keychains, and I made 5 of each. And then once I started advertising all of my keychains, I had so many customers before I started college. So in 2022, I started my higher certificate in fashion design, which is a 1-year course. And stupid me did not give myself enough time to go find a job. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really have the support that I needed to direct me down the right path. And long story short, I ended up going back into the degree because my father, some of you guys may know that my father passed away 4 years ago due to COVID. And anyway, so my father passed away, and he took out a study policy for me because he knew that I wanted to study further. So the study policy had already covered my higher certificate. So anyway, I looked at the degree. And yeah, long story short, I started the degree, which is a 3-year course. And I'm in my 3rd year right now, as we speak. Anyway, so I was going back to college in March, in my 1st year. So yeah, I'm still like shocked at this because my business could have worked. Like, my business could have shot up if I didn't take the degree, I would have had probably like a flourishing business by now. But anyway, so in the month of February alone, I made 4,000 Rand, which is a basic salary here in South Africa. A basic salary. I had 19 keychain orders. 19 keychain orders. And some of them were even custom keychains. Like literally custom keychains. People would send me pictures of what they wanted and I designed it and sent it off to them. I made 19 orders and I made 4,000 Rand off of those orders. I literally paid myself a salary in February right before I needed to start my degree. And it was so funny because both my mom and Mira, which is like the campus director, or the financial advisor there, or whatever the case is, financial person, both my mom and her told me that, oh, it's fine, I can still do crochet on the side, I'll still get orders, whatever the case is. I can still do crochet on the side. Obviously I'll just focus on college, but I can still do that. You can still take it up on the side, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, right, of course I can do that. And I tell you, I barely ever crocheted in my degree. Barely ever crocheted. In my first year, it was the most stressful time. It was just the most stressful time. There was so much going on. We had so many assignments, so many subjects in our first year. We didn't even specialize in fashion yet, and I took fashion design. We didn't even specialize in fashion yet, and so we didn't even do fashion. We were doing like stupid stuff that had nothing to do with fashion. And we had so many assignments, so I was always stressed out. I was always overworked. And then my mother had her accident towards the it was towards the middle of the year. She was busy changing lights and she fell off a ladder and shattered her knee. And then I had to take care of her because at the same time that happened, my brother moved out with his girlfriend. And then I had to look after my mother. I had to take her places. I had to dress her, shower, well, not really shower her, but I had to help her in the shower. I had to take her to do shopping or go out anywhere. I had to drive her everywhere. I had to drive her to appointments. So it was a very stressful time for me in my first year. And funny enough, I was the youngest of the family at that time. I was only 21, turning 22, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I was 21, turning 22. And my brother was like 28, 26 or 27 at the time. Maybe even 25. But yeah. Anyway, so I barely ever crocheted in my first year. Barely had any orders. But yeah, long story short, I also started up my website. And when was it? I think it was in 2022 as well, was when I started my website. I paid an IT guy or software developer, or whatever you call those people, and he designed my website for me. He designed sort of like the general basic layout of my website. And after about a year, I think it was a year or 2 years of working on it, adding products, customizing the look and this and whatever, after about a year or 2 years, I made my website go live. And so I'm so super excited about that. Even though I haven't had any orders off my website yet. Obviously it's still sort of brand new to a certain degree. I still have hope that I'll receive orders soon or sometime down the line in my crochet journey. I started my website, and on there I was initially, like I said, specializing in keychains, but then I sort of found out that nobody really wanted to buy my keychains, especially from my website for some odd reason. And I did participate in one market, because I had a lot of stock and I sort of had the time to do a market. This was when I crocheted all of those keychains before, like how I mentioned, I made 5 of each keychain. And then, yeah, I eventually had enough to sell at a market. And I initially actually went to this market to sell Christmas boxes because I made Christmas boxes. And, yeah, unfortunately, none of my Christmas boxes got sold, but I sold, I can't remember how many keychains I sold. But I made a decent amount of money as well. I think I made like 800 and something rand or something. I can't remember how much I made really, but I sold a few keychains as well. I really can't remember how much I made, to be honest with you. I think it's in one of my other books. But anyway, I literally wrote down the number of orders or the number of keychains I made and the amount of money I made. It was actually a decent amount, actually. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, since my keychains weren't really selling much, I had to, like, I branched out into different other categories. So I now do like decor. I do decor, so I've done like some crochet clothing and accessories. I've done like headbands, bandanas, earrings. I've started to get into earrings and necklaces now. I'm also doing like coasters. I'm doing bouquets, mini bouquets, and also my Christmas boxes. And I also have a few crochet patterns on my website as well that I've designed over the 3-4 years that I've done YouTube. So yeah, but yeah, and as regards to my YouTube channel, I'm gonna, like I've said in my previous video, I'm going to try and make a point to make a video every week to make it more fun and a little bit more interesting. And yeah, so I think that's about it. Yeah, I think I've sort of touched on everything in terms of my crochet journey. Oh, I must actually say that the biggest project that I have ever made in my whole 14 years that I've been crocheting is my butterfly blankets. I'll actually get it for you like real quickly. Okay, so this is my big butterfly blanket. So I saw this blanket on Pinterest, but the blanket was only for a baby size blanket, and I didn't want a baby size blanket. I wanted a huge blanket, and I wanted to do it in the corner to corner stitch. So I took that image and I put it into Stitch Fiddle, and because it was already an image, I had to do a lot of cleaning up of that image. And yeah, I scaled it up to quite big. I can't remember how big this blanket is, but like in terms of measurement size, I don't even know how big it is, but it's a bloody big blanket. And it does fit on a queen/king size bed, so it fits on my mother's bed. So yeah, I added my like name tag to the top of this blanket, so that is like my design that I did on Stitch Fiddle. And then the rest of this was inspiration from that butterfly blanket that I found on Pinterest. I'll try and see if I can insert an image of what it looked like on Pinterest. So yeah, I'll try and hold this up here now. It is pretty big, so please bear with me. I'll probably insert an image of the actual blanket after I try and show you. Okay, so like I said, this thing is pretty massive. This blanket weighs 4 kgs, by the way. 4 kgs, and I use 40 skeins of yarn. 40 skeins of yarn. Maybe I have to stand on my bed for this. Okay, let's see. Oh. Alright. So this is the blanket. So it says Tassie. If I can get the other side, that would be great. So yeah, it's this huge butterfly blanket. It's even such a handful to pick it up. Okay. So yeah, it's this huge butterfly blanket. Okay. So yeah, that was that is the biggest butterfly blanket I have ever made. Well, not biggest butterfly blanket, it's the biggest blanket I have ever made. So yeah, like I said, it weighs 4 kgs and used about 40 skeins of yarn. So yeah, I'm out of breath now. It's so heavy, that thing. Yeah, if it gets like really super cold, then I use that blanket. Oh, I don't really use it often because here in South Africa it gets quite hot, or gets quite warm. But yeah, so anyway, that is the journey of me. That is the journey of Tasman's Crochet Creations. So yeah, like I said, I've had my website since, I want to say 2023. I think it was. But I think I only went live for about a year. A year ago, I think I went live on my website. But yeah, like I've said, I haven't actually had any orders off my website. I've only had 3 crochet patterns bought in the last 2 or 3 years. I've had 2 organ heart keychain patterns bought and 1 mini bee keychain pattern bought. And yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I do also ship internationally, so if you guys are interested in my products overseas, then yeah, you can always purchase online on my website and have it delivered straight to your door, wherever you may be in the country. So yeah, I think that is it. I think I've sort of gone through just about everything, I think. But yeah, so that is it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It really does help out my channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll check you next week.